Okay. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for your patience this morning. Welcome to the Talent Lens. We're so excited you're here today for our last Talent Lens. We are incredibly proud of the journey that we've had so far. We've had 23 Talent Lens Success Magnified webinars, and this is our last one. It's our 24th. And we're really proud of everything we've done. These webinars will be evergreen on the website, on our YouTube channel. So they will always be accessible for you to rewatch and share. And thank you so much for being here for our last one, for a topic that's really close to my heart and really important and going to be incredibly important as we end the year and as we start the new year next year, as we're thinking about growth and talent for 2026. So, for those of you who do know me, I'm Swati Garg. Nice to meet you. Or don't know me, I'm sorry, who don't know me. I'm the founder and CEO of Melo Associates. I love being an entrepreneur. I love having an idea and then being able to create something from it from scratch. So really, when I feel like I can create something or do something in a different way, I do it. I execute. I take action, and really, that's been my whole journey. I'm been the founder and CEO of Melo Associates for over 9 years now. We just had our ninth anniversary in September, which is super exciting. We're known for customer success recruitment. Although we do all of revenue, what we're really known for is our customer success and post-sales recruitment. So it's been really exciting to really be a part of this community and be such an integral part of hiring in this community. I also co-founded CUSP, a Chicago CS community here that started about 6 years ago. So that's been really exciting. We have over 400 members and very engaged community. We do events every couple of months. So if you're ever in Chicago, check us out and come hang out. I've been very lucky to be recognized in a lot of different areas in CS, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. The coolest thing this year, I feel like that we've done is we wrote the Customer Success Talent Playbook. So I, along with five other amazing CS leaders, wrote the Customer Success Talent Playbook. We are a one bestseller on Amazon in 5 categories, which is pretty amazing. So if you want to check us out, definitely go on Amazon. If you've already liked the book, we'd love a review. It'd be really helpful to us. And we'd love any feedback or thoughts on it. This book was 22 months in the making, and we're so proud of it and the impact it's already made in the community. It's 6 sections, and every section is written from both perspectives, the hiring manager perspective and the candidate perspective, to really give a holistic view of job search and hiring and recruiting. And it's the only one of its kind. So we really hope that you enjoy it and find value in it. So what does Melo Associates do, right? So for those who don't know us, we're a talent partner for revenue roles. So we have a big focus in customer success, but we do all of post sales and all of revenue roles. So that includes customer success, sales leadership, professional services, account management support, anything a chief customer officer might own, including AMs and CSMs and strategic sales as the function is evolving so much. And then our second core service is the Employee Mobility Program, which we're going to get into today and really talk about it, which is going to be really exciting. But we added this a little over a year ago to really make our services holistic, but also really talk about the other side that I don't feel like is talked about enough. We do a lot of work in SaaS and tech, but also we're getting more into manufacturing and consulting firms as well. So, like I said, our 2 core services are end-to-end recruitment and employee mobility, which we'll get into. And when it comes to recruitment, right, we can kind of jump in there and come in at any point in the process. So we've spliced and diced every part of the recruitment process to give our clients optionality in how to work with us. So if you just need sourcing help, if you need an audit on your process, if you just need some consulting or some, um, or thinking through an idea, we can help with that too. So let us know what you need. We'd be happy to help. So the big question, right? We have been known for recruitment for 7, 8 years before we added employability. So the big question is, why did we add employability? And ever since I've been in HR um, I started my career in human resources over 15 years ago, I think. I think it's been a long time now, almost 15 years ago. And I've been in recruitment for a decade now. And what I noticed is that there's a pattern. People don't always want to leave their current company. They just don't see a path for growth. And with Melo Associates, as I talk to so many candidates, the first question I ask them are, why are you open to a new role? And if I actually feel like this is something they can work out at their current company, I suggest that. I suggest them to talk to their manager or talk to their HR leader and kind of help them through that as well, because I don't think it makes sense to leave a company if you're happy with everything except something that's pretty easily solvable or might be solvable through a discussion before you make that decision to exit. And I am very passionate about this. I think work is so important. It is 1/3 of your life. You're there 8 to 10 hours a day at least. And you want to make sure that it's um, a happy place. It's a place where you enjoy going every day. It's a place that you enjoy problem solving. You enjoy the coworkers, your culture, the impact you're making. And if there's nothing's going to be perfect, right? But you want to make sure that if you are spending so much time there, you can really talk about the things that are wrong and the things that are fixable, and then understand the things that aren't fixable. And if they aren't fixable, it completely makes sense to look for a new work home. But if they are fixable, I think it's important to try and stay. And that's why we built the employee mobility program for Melo Associates and work through a structure where we can help companies really help employees and retain them and stay with them. So when they're leaving, it really is the best decision for them. And it's not because they didn't see, a path at the company that was possible. Everything's not always possible, but it could be. And you want to make sure that you give your employees the options. And that's why we created the Employee Mobility Program. So, getting into the content, right? It's so important to unlock talent from within. What we'll talk about today is why internal mobility matters. We'll talk about the different impacts, business, cultural, employee engagement, and then why it's important to look internal before hiring external. And then we'll give you a little bit of light on our employee mobility program as well. So, why does internal mobility matter, right? Um, Companies that see and prioritize internal mobility, they see higher employee engagement, they see higher retention, right? This is huge for business impact, right? Employees that seek growth in career, they want to stay at the company longer. They're adding to the culture, they're improving the culture, they're training employees. There's so much positive impact for employees that see growth plans. When I speak to candidates that have been at a company for 5, 7, 8 years, but in different roles, they talk about the company so positively. They talk about how they've got new challenges and met new people and been able to problem solve in different ways. And they never even thought about looking for another job. And I think that that speaks volumes. If somebody's consistently challenged and feeling good about it, they're not really looking elsewhere. They don't feel like anything is unfulfilled. And that's really the goal of any company. So, and it's more about just like filling roles or moving people within the company. You're building a strong team, you're building a strong workforce, and that's really, really important for the longevity of a company. So, want to give some stats on some of these different things, right? So, the business impact. 79% of learning and development leaders agree that reskilling current employees is more cost effective, right? So, we're just talking about money, right? You're going to save money if you hire within first, right? And I want to be clear, the skill set, what you need is not always there internally, right? Obviously, recruitment is a big part of our business and the main part of our business because that's what we've been doing for so long. But if somebody internally can do the job and they can become the next leader and they can grow their team, that improves employee morale, but that also saves the company so much money, right? Internal hiring cuts the cost by 50% on average. Like that's a lot of money that the company is saving, right? If the right hire is internal. And I found this super interesting too, right? 77% of professionals are open to new roles, even if they're not actively applying. But this, like the story I just said, a lot of people, they're open to new roles, but they're not really going to consider them if they're, being really engaged and challenged internally, unless, they get some dream opportunity. And so it is really important to consistently think about internal talent for open roles. So the retention impact, right? One of the number one reason that we see that people are looking to leave a company is growth opportunity, right? They don't see development. They don't see the next step. People don't want to stagnate. They really want to see, um, how can I move to the next step? How can I keep growing my career? How can I learn new skills? And when they don't see that, they decide to leave, right? So organizations with strong internal mobility programs, they retain their employees twice as long with that one. I mean, that's double the value. Think about your bottom line, think about employee morale, think about culture. There's so many things that you are improving by retaining employees. So the cultural impact. Um, Employees who see career growth, like I said, are much more engaged. They feel valued. And and if you just look at things from like a human level, when you feel more valued and you're more engaged, whether it's at work or a community or really anything, um, you're going to stay. You're going to add more value. You're going to do more. And you're going to help. You're going to teach others. It's so important, right? It fosters a learning culture where employees feel supported in their development. They're going to want to develop others. They're going to want to continue to um, teach others and grow the team. And they have higher satisfaction and stronger team dynamics, right? They're going to be better leaders, better peers. It really, really impacts your culture in a very positive way when people know that there's more opportunity than just the one they're currently at. So I know we've said the word engagement multiple times already, but employees who transition internally, their engagement rate shoots up. It shoots up to 3.5 times more likely to be more engaged. Like that's massive, right? And I mentioned this already, but career development is the number one reason people leave. Growth, development, that's what we see in our conversations every single day. So just by creating a simple program, some simple options, it's going to increase the engagement impact up, but also that's going to help the bottom line so much. And then employee retention, right, increases by 41% in companies with strong mobility programs. So now you're getting people more engaged, more developed, they want to stay longer, and they're improving the culture. I mean, it really is a no-brainer to include a internal mobility program. And we're going to talk about starting small, right? So when I'm saying this, it's not like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of these things right now. It's like, where do I start? And we'll talk about where to start, right? You can start really, really small. You don't have to create this massive program to get some of these benefits. And I think people should start today. And here we are. So practical use implementation, right? How do we practically add this in? So we want people to feel like they're growing. We want them to grow. We want them to see leadership opportunities. We want them to see, how can I expand my skill set? So some simple things that you can do like today are you can start working on how do I do a job shadowing program for current employees? Maybe they want to shadow the leader of their org, or maybe they want to shadow maybe they want to learn some skills in marketing. Maybe they can shadow somebody in marketing for a few hours a day for a week, right? Things where they can pick up skills, they can ask questions, they can kind of learn about different functions. This also increases cross collaboration between the functions, right? Every function has to work together, especially in customer success and revenue roles. And you really want to make sure, one, they understand each other's jobs. But if there's people with hidden skill sets that could help and make things easier or move things along and help the business, it's a great way to uncover that too, which also uncovers like new opportunities that they can use. A skills assessment, right? So you can create one, like a basic one if you want, right? There's so many great resources now for with AI, but you can also, buy one if you want. But understanding employee skill sets will also help, the HR leaders or the org leaders really understand, like, okay, like this is something I didn't know that, this person on my team could do. So let me give them a project that stretches them, or I really need help with this and I don't have time. Like, let me see if this is something they want to take on, right? So understanding the skills is a very good way to just understand where employees can thrive that they may not be working on right now. And then, of course, having regular conversations, right? So hopefully, leaders and managers are not only doing performance reviews or checking in on projects, but they're also having regular conversations about interests and goals of employees to really understand how are they liking their job? Are they feeling challenged? What do they want to do next? So they really feel like they are getting those moments with their manager to talk about what's going on and how they want to push their career forward. Um, and also, I would say you can also, through the all of these things, right? The job shadowing, understanding their skills, having these conversations, you can promote cross collaboration projects, right? That's going to increase communication in a positive way across functions, but it's also going to do all the things that we've talked about. And it's a great, easy way to start stepping your way into or dipping your toe into employee mobility. So, why I really think it's critical to look at internal before external hiring, right? External hiring does take longer, right? It takes maybe 8 to 12 weeks, where internal hiring cuts the time by 50%. External hiring costs more, right? Because you're not only looking at hiring or recruiting expenses, but you're also looking at lost productivity. And then internal hiring, employees who have already been accustomed to the culture and to the team dynamics, they're going to ramp up faster, right? Because now they're just focusing on learning the job, not really learning the culture, the team dynamics, learning, all new names. So they are going to ramp up faster. I think it's incredibly important to look internal. If you have the right person, the right skill set, that's where you start. And then when you're building a team and you need more people, yeah, let's go external if needed, right? But I think that it's really important to look internal before looking external to make sure that you're keeping that culture and keeping that employee morale up before hiring someone else externally. So the power of promoting from within, option A, internal movement, you have much faster alignment and employee higher morale and higher employee morale. And then option B is, of course, recruitment and external hiring, which is, of course, how we started and what we've been doing for so many years. And really, you know, a bigger part of our business. But it takes, that new person has to come in and it does take a little bit longer for them to integrate. And so I do believe that it's important to look internally before hiring externally. And I do talk to my clients about this too. Like um, if they're ready to hire externally, I want to make sure that, they have talked about any candidates internally, before we make the effort to look externally, because we don't want to, waste all this time, resources, and energy of looking for someone externally when the perfect person is might be sitting right on the team. So I want to take a moment now to talk about our employee mobility program. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll get to them at the end. We don't have a fireside chat today, so we will most likely end a little bit early based on questions. So if you have any questions, let me know. So I'm really excited to talk about our employee mobility program. So, our employee mobility program is a monthly retainer service, and for help, it's designed for companies to help fill roles, develop internal talent, and it will drastically reduce hiring costs. And I know a lot of people ask about this all the time. How can I consistently reduce hiring costs? And internal mobility is a huge part of that. So this is how we do it. So step one is we work with mostly HR leaders or operation leaders. And first we talk to them about, do you have a centralized internal talent system, right? Because if you don't, that's where we start. We need to start building one. So we'll help create and support using the systems or resources they have and start connecting with employees that have been identified with the company, employees that opt in, and really start creating a centralized record of internal talent that's raising their hand and goes, I want to grow, I want to move within the company, I want to try new things. And if people are raising their hand, that is amazing. That's the best place to start, right? Or if you already have something um, that you like, I have a basic, even if it's an Excel spreadsheet, that's what we'll start. We'll start talking to these employees and really understanding and giving you real insights from from these conversations on what they want to do, what they want to do next, and how you can use their skills and meet their goals and to keep them engaged with the company. We'll create monthly insights and work directly with either org leaders or HR leaders to deliver monthly insights to help um, improve internal movement, find patterns, and really provide strategic recommendations. We'll also see what open roles the company has, and if we feel like these internal talent um, these folks that have raised their hand to be, internal talent that wants to move around, will identify people for departments, for certain roles, and really help companies move people around, right? We're all about taking action and showing how much this program can really impact the company right away. So we will really surface strong talent through this program to help companies move forward with internal talent. And of course, we are going to align with stakeholders. So when companies, um, you know, work with us, we're going to make sure that we are aligning with the HR teams, the talent teams, and any org teams that we need to. The coolest thing about this program, it's company wide because we want to make sure that we really focus on cross collaboration within the company, cross functional movement, and so. This program is company wide, and we're working with small to medium sized companies on this. Or if we're working with larger departments, it's really focused, larger companies, we're focusing on departments at a time to really focus on and be able to focus on the people that are raising their hand and saying that they want to move. So the question we get sometimes is why outsource it, right? Um, Sometimes companies have HR leaders or talent leaders can do some of this. And I think you should absolutely start this on your own, right? Like start today. I am so passionate about employee mobility and internal mobility that I think it's critical and you need to start today, right? But when you're building a whole program, we'll come in, we'll be unbiased, we'll be objective, right? We'll assess employee skills and needs based on their interest and business needs. And that makes these conversations a lot stronger. We can focus on this. HR and talent teams have so much work on their plates. They have so many things, so many priorities, and so many, people and, probably pulling them in different directions and have a lot of different projects running at the same time. So we can come in and focus on this, which will really help um, get this implemented, hopefully faster. It will save a lot of time, right? So for any unfilled role, it means lost revenue. And if we can identify people that are already at the company that can, do these open role jobs, we can make internal hiring a priority. We can recommend people for roles and make this a little bit faster and save the company money. And we can just come in and be more proactive and strategic and think about things with an outside lens that sometimes when you're in the middle of all of it, you can't. So we really feel like we can do a lot of good coming in with this program. And we've had phenomenal conversation so far. So, in summary, the employee mobility program is critical for cost and time savings. It's going to incredibly shorten hiring cycles, improve productivity time, reduce cost, and really improve employee morale. Of course, it's a huge impact on the business and improving company culture and systems and really improving and the flow of hiring as well once you integrate this in your entire talent system. And it'll give employees more career growth opportunities, development options. It's going to improve optionality. And that is what employees want, and it will increase engagement. And overall, it'll help the company a lot. And as I said, our core services are, of course, end-to-end recruitment, but our newest core service is our employee mobility program. And we would love to talk about it if you're interested. Thank you so much for attending. This is our last Talent Lens Success Magnified webinar, and it's crazy to think about that. We really, really want to thank you for attending. And we have a shop on Melo Associates. If you don't know, we have a shop with a ton of fantastic, fun sayings in the revenue space, post sales, talent, HR space. And we wanted to give you a 20%, 25% off your shop purchase today for attending the Talent Lens. We really, really appreciate it. Feel free to share the code and please share the webinar if you found it valuable. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to talk about this. I'm really passionate about internal mobility and our program and would love to have a conversation around it. I'm going to stop sharing for a second now. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. If not, we can definitely, you can reach out to me anytime afterwards. I would love to talk about this. Like I said, it is one of my favorite topics to talk about outside of hiring and, all these other things that I love talking about, entrepreneurship and career journeys and all of that. So if I can help with anything, please let me know. I'll wait a second to see if there's any questions. Okay. So it doesn't seem like we have any questions today, which is totally fine. So reach out to me. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for being here today on our last Talent Lens. I really appreciate it. This has been an incredible run with 24 webinars, and this being our last one. Everything truly has come full circle with me being able to talk about my our latest service and a service that's really close to my heart and I find so important in the talent world. Um, we're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You're going to see new and exciting things from us. So please make sure to reach out. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here if you need anything. Thank you so much from Melo Associates, from the Talent Lens. Thank you for making this community amazing. And we'll see you on YouTube and all the social medias and hopefully in person really, really soon. Thank you so much for being part of the Talent Lens Success Magnified community. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.